So this is from a work in progress, a novel, and I haven't read in lots of years, and so I'm really nervous about this. So this is from a chapter, the first chapter after the prologue in the book. So it's called A Rude Awakening. Imagine Hoover Dam as it appears in the movie Superman, the 1978 version with Christopher Reeve, shot years before the equestrian show, where he flew from the thoroughbred Eastern Express in an error that shattered his vertebrae and ultimately killed him. Remember that scene when a nuclear blast along the San Andreas Fault triggered an earthquake that produced a hairline fissure along the dam's curving wall? Remember how the concrete fractured into the tree of life before one chunk, then another tumbled, releasing a deluge that looked like Ganga gushing from Shiva's crown. What my mother's guru called the liberation of Las Vegas. But no guru could imagine what it felt like to lie groggy in the dark with phone pressed to ear, waking to the voice of my boyfriend's father, Rudy, who directed me to take the first cab out to Jersey. Before I could say hello, Rudy spoke, manic, relentless, and heavy-handed. "Jane, it's Jonathan's father, Rudy. Listen, I know it's late, but you have to get in the first cab you can right now, the first cab." I tried to ask questions, but he wouldn't let me get a word in. "There's a problem here. Just get in the cab and tell the driver you need to get to Jersey. It's Jonathan. I'll pay. Get up. Bring some things." You understand what I'm saying? But I didn't understand. Of course I didn't, even as cold folded over me. I rubbed my eyes and moved around in the bed sheets. On the other end, Rudy sucked air, spitting and flinging words at me, every syllable a battering ram. "Oh, gee, oh, God," his voice swerved. "I can't believe this. Listen, you really need to be here. He's not right. Oh, my God, it feels like I have glue in my throat." And later, while cold sweat purled in my armpits, there was more. "Please, I know it's late. Just come. Get a pen. I'll give you the address. Get a cab. Look, I'm sorry. I don't usually talk like this, but this is a situation, a real situation." Too fuzzy-headed to question how Rudy got my phone number or why he chose to call me instead of a relative or a close friend, I let him ramble on. Later, once he told me exactly how it happened, after it was obvious that the wreck was because of me, I couldn't stop shivering. But at that time, I lay under the covers numb, frigid and puzzled, listening, not yet aware of the pain that would later pour like melted wax into a bottomless trash receptacle somewhere in my gut. And still, Rudy's voice cracked into 1,000 shards, slicing through phone static. "You don't understand what I've been through. You think this can't be happening because that's what I think. But ta-da and whatever, we're both wrong. It's happening, whether we like it or not. Look, I know we've never met, but he talked about you all the time, and I bet he talked about me too, so we're even." This was true because Jonathan privately called his father the wuss, and often insisted that Rudy didn't know his ass from his armpit. Many times Rudy became the butt of Jonathan's jokes, especially when it came to Rudy's hair pieces. There was the story about a toupee that blew off in the middle of Jonathan's graduation ceremony. "No joke, the thing sailed through the air," Jonathan once told me, still upset rather than amused by the memory. "My dad's an idiot. I mean, what kind of jerk doesn't glue down fake hair, especially outside on the quad with all that wind when it could hit some woman in the face and end up a game of frisbee?" Half laughing, Jonathan smacked a fist against an open palm, but then bit down on his lower lip. "A wuss, an idiot. After that, all I could do was leave him alone on the quad and shoot shit with my buddies." On another occasion, dismissive, Jonathan described his father this way. "He always talked about being a lawyer, but here's a guy who never made it through high school and ended up reorganizing cubicles." Not so strange that I hadn't met this death of a salesman character who so inflamed Jonathan. "Jesus!" Jonathan spat into what had to be a payphone because only a few people had cell phones in those days. By then, I was sitting up, light from my cheap bedside lamp sleuthing into dark corners, my hands shaking while a siren screamed behind Rudy's perpetual chatter. "It's all blood and bones here. Jesus, I can't tell you. You have no idea what it's like. Teeth coming out his nose, breaking through his face. Clearly the man had a gift for describing gore, particularly when uncensored over the phone, as when he said, "Let me tell you, it's not nice here. I just saw blood shooting from his chest. Do you know what that looks like? No, nobody does. You can't believe it. Maybe you never have. May you never know. Never. His ear. What the hell happened to his ear? His ear hanging by a thread. His hand, too. I saw it with my own eyes. Right in front of me, right there, twisted, completely twisted over on itself like a pretzel. And then there was a hole the size of a lunar crater. Jesus, what? Right there beneath his right rib. I kid you not. There was this dark red shiny bulge. My boy's liver. His liver. Jesus, oh Jesus. His words slurred now and my head pounded. He's all I got. He talked about you. That's why I'm asking you to please get in a cab now. He's not right, I'm telling you." The old man's voice played a ludicrous tune as it veered towards upper registers, where the caked slap of dehydrated tongue against lips kept me wondering why I wasn't far away from this nightmare, where nurses had left Rudy to fend for himself. That's it.